Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Scaling Brokerage Podcast. Today, Donnis has been kind enough to bless us with some of her time, share her experiences as a brokerage owner and in real estate. So I'll kick it right off to her, let her tell us a little bit about herself and her business there.
Yes, well, like you said, my name is Donnis Carr. I am a 20-year veteran here in North Carolina as a real estate broker. I have I started my company back in '07. I just made it a sole proprietorship at the time. One of my good colleagues said it would be okay, even though she's an attorney and a broker herself. And she said for right now, based on the liabilities, it was only me. So I started out as a sole proprietorship, but in 2018, I made it a corporation.
Oh,
Down through that time frame, I've had several agents. I can't even tell you, but right now it's down to just me. And back in, well, this is 25, so back in 2022, I talked to my son early spring about potentially getting his real estate license. He agreed, and so in August of 2022, he became a real estate broker. So hence the name is a Done Deal Realty, and that Done is spelled Dunn. Well, I've remarried, so I'm no longer married to his father. So that's another reason why I asked him, "Are you interested?" Because that's his legacy now, not mine anymore.
yeah. Hey, that's awesome. Well, that's awesome. It's wonderful you guys had that relationship built there. Great. Tell us a little bit about, take us back, 20 years ago. How did you get started in real estate?
Wow, that's interesting. It's I'm that person that when something doesn't go right and I want to know, like I feel like the people have the power and control of all the answers and I don't know everything. So when I feel like something hasn't gone right, I feel like, I'll say there's going to be a time that I'm going to learn how this either work or how to do it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the people that I dealt with originally when I tried to buy my first home, I still have a relationship with them. It's not the same as it was when I first met them, but I still have that relationship. I felt like there were some things they could have done better. And then after getting my real estate license, I determined that I was right. And that I determined that while I was in class. But that's what it was. My motivation was I wanted to learn real estate, so I actually worked for a builder just to be like what they used to call a relief agent. It was in my neighborhood. It was building more houses down the street, like a phase two or three. So I applied and they let me work for them as a relief agent. And as I was doing that, I was like, I kind of think I might like this. And at the
That's
time I
awesome.
was working in the school system and it wasn't enough money. I had obligations that was piling up on me and I was like, I need to do something a little different. And I don't have time to go back to school. So I needed something that I can get the education fairly quickly and make a decent amount of money. And that's how I got into real estate.
Hey, awesome, awesome. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. And thinking that or knowing that we could do better, that's a great way to get started in any field. So that's awesome that that's how we were able to get going there. Awesome. And then in 20 years, we had to face at least a couple of challenges along the way. Tell us about some of the challenges you've had to face.
Well, being new, first of all,
Yeah. Oh
all
yeah.
real estate agents, just to be in the new part. And I'm gonna say this: I did not get into this without help. I joined at the time, and this we talking 20 years ago. Remax did not do this at the time that I started. They tried a new program where they would hire new agents when their rule was you had to have 2 years in. This is across the country before you could get hired at a Remax branch or firm. But they tried out a new program where they hired someone that had worked with a very successful, well-known broker here in North Carolina now. And they hired her to do the new agent training. So when I got my license, they had just started this program. So I figured, let me try it out. And it turned out to be one of the best decisions I could have ever made. So I had two mentors. I had her first, and then they brought on a young lady that was even younger than me that started her career like right out of high school almost and to be the techie trainer. And then the other person was more of a hands-on. So I had two mentors that taught me what I know today came from those two ladies, and I commend them, and I always respect them for what they taught me.
Awesome. Hey, I'd love to hear that. Love to hear that. And dive in a little bit to kind of marketing, recruiting side. Do you do anything right now to market your brokerage? You get out there and add any agents in under you guys?
Okay, this is going to be probably controversial. I'm a by the book kind of person. And unfortunately in real estate and in any industry, but real estate seems to creep up a little bit more. Even though we have a commission in every state that governs what we do, and we have the rules are pretty
Yeah.
set forth, people tend to want to bend the rules. So my issue is I'm not a rule breaker. So when I hire agents, it's always that, well, come on kind of attitude with something that no. you don't need to do it. No, that's not how it's done. No, I'm not going to do that. And
Yeah.
that's a problem for them. They don't like being held accountable. So I don't have a lot of agents, and I've had them down through the years, but that's one of the main reasons why a lot of them don't want to work with me, because they don't want to be held accountable. And I'm being straight honest. I don't care who see this, they know it's the truth. So when you don't want to be held accountable, because in their minds, people forget, when you become a new agent, you're not on your own. You
Oh
don't
yeah.
own your own firm. You're not a broker in charge. So you not only have to follow the commission rules, you have to follow, if you become a realtor, the association rules, and the BIC is responsible for holding you accountable for all that. But agents get in this business and they hold on to their clients like this. They are their clients because they created them in most cases, but the clients technically belong to the firm. So it's like a law firm. It's no different. When you go work for the law firm, you bring in the business, but you bring in the business to determine how you get climb the ladder. So if you
Yeah.
don't bring much business, you kind of stay down low. If you bring in a lot of business, you go back and you talk to the partners about giving you a little bit more. Real estate brokerage is pretty much the same way, but agents don't see it that way. They think, okay, I hang my license under you, this is my client, this is my business, and it is your business and it is your clients, but they belong to the firm first. Because guess what? Do the lawyers or do the attorney's office cut that check to you, or do they cut it to the firm?
Yeah.
Agents
Correct.
don't get that.
Correct.
That's probably the biggest problem with hiring agents right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When have you done anything, as far as like, maybe getting more like seasoned agents in the mix, agents that have you maybe worked with in the past that you like how they, do transactions and how they operate? Have you
Well,
ever,
I've tried
gone through
both.
that route?
The seasoned agents are a little bit more challenging because they've been doing it for a little while and they've gotten set in their ways.
Oh
But
yeah.
I still have had some relationships with them. But with them, they look at, what are you doing for me more so? Because they figure I'm bringing in this business, but if you're not necessarily helping them, and I get it, I respect it, because they usually have more responsibilities, more obligations on the
Yeah.
personal side and the business side, and they really do need to make quite a bit of money. And that's where my challenge is too, because I'm going to give you a percentage based off of your, not just your productivity, but I also got to do it based off of how well you do your contracts. How, I shouldn't have to help a seasoned agent do anything. But
Yeah.
I've run across situations where I still have to jump in because something's not done right. Something was said to a client or a transaction that could get us all in trouble. And they don't get that. They feel like, well, that shouldn't have anything to do with my money. Yes, it does, because if you get
Oh
in
yeah.
trouble, I get in trouble.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't really do season much. But what I've done with my son, literally, I'm at a point I don't do it. I let him vet them now, because I said, this is going to be your company. So you
Yeah.
need to be able to hire people that you want to work with, because I'm going to get them, I'm going to train them and do what I need to do, but it doesn't work well with me. Plus, I think I need a buffer between me and other agents. So he's working on that right now. It's just really listening, putting our ears to the ground, being amongst like networking situations where
Yeah.
we're getting to know them, they're getting to know us, and then kind of take it from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what to dive into kind of the future for you and the son there at the company? What do you see yourself and your son doing over? Let's say 2030 kind of sounds like the future. I know a little bit, but what do you think? Guys think by the time we get 2030, like to look back and see yourself have done?
Well, I would like to. I would like to see a larger firm, meaning a comfort level for me as being the broker in charge is like 5, maybe 10, just depending on what's going on as far as ages.
Yeah,
But I have made a decision because of what I said. I'm going to stick with the team concept. I'm not doing the individual, independent. I mean, I just wouldn't be the brokers for someone who wants to do their own thing, because it's very
yeah,
hard to monitor what they're doing. And I'm not, I know some people say, what is the word with you? You kind of just got to be in control of everything. That's not who I am, but I am in control of whether or not my firm or my license is in jeopardy. So I'd
yeah,
rather have
yeah,
the team concept, because I have come up with something. I did some training last year that I paid for and got a certification for, that I'm putting into 2025, which is literally going to generate quite a bit of business for us. And I've already told myself, I already know we can't do it by ourselves. So, but I only want to hire agents who want to be a part of the teams, because we pretty much are going to have the business. It's just a matter of them following the system and the training that I'll put in place on how to handle the leads and the clients that we're going to be bringing in. Plus, I actually joined last year a mortgage company. So I am dual business, I guess. And I don't want to say dual affiliated, but I'm dual because I can do mortgages
yeah,
across all
yeah.
50 states now, and I'm a real estate broker. So that's another component that we're adding as well, for which is going to be a benefit to buyers that work with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Awesome. And so what do we, I mean, speaking of giving, advice to others too, what would be kind of some advice you give to new brokerage owners that are, maybe getting started in today's market?
I would say for sure they definitely want some mentors. They want people
Oh
that
yeah.
they can, don't go into it without some, some counseling, some support. It don't necessarily have to be financial support, because I mean, depending on where they are and how they're trying to grow, we do make pretty decent money in real estate if you do it the right way.
Absolutely.
But having someone that can help guide you along, and not just, I call it armchair real estate brokers or brokerage owners. I mean, true people who've been there, done that, or people where they are where you're trying to go. You see if you can partner up or in and ask people to be there, your mentor, to
Yeah.
help you, guide you. Because I've done it for the most part by myself. The two ladies that I told you about, they gave me a wonderful foundation to work from. I mean, but that education is very rare and few and far between now. So it gave me the comfort to do it on my own. I still have had some struggles being on my
Oh yeah.
own,
Oh yeah.
but I don't recommend anybody go through this process, not in today's time, without that support.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. Having that helping hand, kind of having that roadmap, when we're getting started, because obviously, no one really gives us one as a broker, as a brokerage owner. So yeah, having that roadmap can definitely be helpful for, getting us going and getting us on the right track and, much
Right.
faster, not wasting any time or ruining any relationships along the way, anything like that. So that's
That's yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So now I always like to ask too, do you have any quotes, anything you like to think of, maybe times are going good, when times are going bad, anything that you like to think back to?
Well, and this is something, because my husband and I will be married, because I remember I told you I divorced my first husband and I'm remarried. He's a retired veteran, Army vet, and he's
Oh, awesome.
also a real estate investor. So he started his real estate investing career while he was in the Army.
Oh,
So I've
my God.
learned, I kind of learned a lot from him. So I wouldn't say I have quotes, but one of the things I learned, and I've dealt with quite a few investors, which is how I met him, through an investment group here in North Carolina.
Oh, that's
They
awesome.
don't believe in following the market. They don't believe in the ups and the downs. And that's why I'm still in business today, because I learned from the investors how to become a better real estate broker. I don't let the government, who's in office, who's not in office, whether the market goes bad or what, I don't let that dictate anything to me. They help me get that out of my head as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I just go get business. I am that agent. I look and find opportunities. I create them. And because I have the mind to create them, I don't worry about the ups and the downs. So I would say the thing would be is find your own way. I don't want to use the cliche niche, but niche is good if, some people really do have to do a niche. I did start with a niche, but I don't recommend that's the case, because it's about relationships. So my quote is, well, I do probably do have a quote. It's about the relationship. I'm a relationship person. We're in the business. So the quote would be, we're in the business. Oh no, we're in the relationship business, not in
Yeah,
the business just
absolutely.
about making money. But if you keep that in mind, we're in the relationship business, you would go a long way.
Absolutely. No, couldn't agree more. And I think something that is common practice among all people that have been successful in real estate, as agents, as brokers for a long time. Putting our best foot forward and thinking of our clients first, giving them the best experience is always going to build the bridge for us. And who knows who's going to come across it from there. But I really appreciate you coming out today so much. John, tell the people a little bit about where can they find you if they're over there interested in maybe getting this property or want to talk to you about anything maybe we spoke about today. How can they get connected?
Well, again, you look it up. It's the letter A by itself, Dunn, Dunn, Deal Realty Incorporated. If you type that in Google, I'm the only one that's going to pop up, because
Love it.
that
I love it.
Dunn is how you're going to find me. But right now, our office is located in Fayetteville. It's at 301 Cumberland Street, Fayetteville, North Carolina. The number is 919-480-2091. Feel free to reach out, and you can find us all over social media. Same thing. If you just type in that A Dunn Deal Realty, you're going to find us.
I love it. I love it. We'll have everything linked down below, guys, in the comments there. If you'd like to get in touch with, if you're in that North Carolina market or maybe looking to, move over there, talk to the investors, and Donnis is definitely going to take care of us and get us, set in the right path. So thank you again so much for coming out today, Donnis. It was a wonderful conversation with you.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me.